What's up YouTube, Silver Dragons here, and in this video we'll be talking about the Britannias. So I'm going to give you some general information on these beautiful coins, and then I'll talk about how I feel about them as far as silver stacking goes or investing in silver. So let's do it! Thank you so much for watching my video. I sincerely appreciate it. If you would like to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, then make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, I got my glove on here so I can handle this coin a little bit more. Usually if you just touch it from the edges, it's not a problem. But anyway, this is a Britannia. A 1 ounce 3/9 fine silver Britannia from 2020. This is the reverse here. It's got Britannia, that's the lady right there, the female personification of Great Britain. She's got a shield and that trident-like thing, kind of cool. The rays coming out from behind her, that's actually a security feature. So pretty cool that the Royal Mint added that on there. I believe it was in 2016 or 2017, something like that. Now the Obverse is Queen Elizabeth II. Now these come from the Royal Mint, so of course they've got Queen Elizabeth on them. Now lots of other mints also put Queen Elizabeth on the coins. You got the Royal Canadian Mint, Perth Mint, New Zealand Mint. So her face has made it on a lot of coinage, a lot of bullion coins. So no different on the Britannias. It does have a face value of £2. Now this is the 1 ounce Silver Britannia. I believe they've made them in other sizes. I've definitely seen them on eBay and stuff like that, but the premiums are just outrageous. If you want like ½ ounce, quarter ounce, and they've also made proof versions and privies and all sorts of crazy stuff. But on this video, we're just going to focus on the bullion version here. So this is the bullion version of the Britannia. Now the Royal Mint started making Britannias in 1987, but those were the gold Britannias. They didn't come out with the silver ones until 1997. And what's very interesting about the original Silver Britannias that came out, they weren't 3/9 fine silver. They also weren't sterling silver, which we've seen a lot of other coin series start out with sterling and then move into 3/9 fine. But from 1997 until 2012, the Britannias were actually made of, you guessed it, Britannia silver, which if you don't know what that is, it is 0.958. So actually in 1697, Great Britain wanted to go away from sterling, and so they came out with the Britannia silver. It is finer than sterling silver, of course, which would be 925. So the 958 was a little bit softer, but I guess they wanted to stand out in the world, so they came out with their own purity of silver. Pretty interesting. And then in 2013, the Britannias switched over to 3/9 fine, like pretty much all of the other bullion coins in the world today. So the original Britannias were actually a little bit bigger. They were 40 millimeters. This one here is only 38.61 millimeters. They also weighed more because they had to add copper to them, of course, for the 958 purity. So they weighed 32.45 grams. And then 2013 to present, they weigh 31.21 grams or 1 troy ounce. Of course, a little bit of copper added because it's only 3/9 fine, so a slight amount of copper in these, which makes them weigh just a little bit over a troy ounce. But regardless, one also interesting thing about the Britannias is they do change designs a little bit here and there. Now, the proof versions, I believe, change designs every other year. So in the odd years, the proof versions do change. The bullion versions have changed from time to time. I don't know if there's an actual schedule on that, but pretty interesting stuff. I think the Britannias are very beautiful. They're one of the most popular coins in Europe. Here in the United States, they are still very popular. Now, the mintage on these is not nearly as robust as the Maples or Eagles or anything like that. So they're a little bit less popular, but people still do like to buy these. So I think if you find them on sale, if they're a good price, then they're definitely a good buy. One thing also to note is, yes, they are a coin. So these are backed by Great Britain, which of course is a sovereign nation. So these are coins, sometimes a little bit more trusted than rounds. So that's why some people would prefer to buy this over like a generic silver round or something like that here in the States. I know in Europe, based on where you live, they have different taxes on silver, right? So the VAT tax. And depending on which country you live in Europe, you may or may not have to pay the VAT tax on these coins. So I don't know exactly where it does apply. I know the Austrian Philharmonics are also popular in Europe. So if you live over there, definitely do your research. Figure out which ones you're not going to have to pay tax on, and I would recommend buying those for sure, because paying any sort of tax just raises the price of your bullion. Now, here in the States, some areas will charge a tax on anything, right? Like a sales tax. I live in the great state of Oregon, and thankfully we don't have any taxes here, so that doesn't apply to me. So if I see these for $20 per coin, then they cost me $20 per coin. Now, let's talk a little bit. If you wanted to invest in silver, are these a good buy, right? Or if you're just a silver stacker and you want to pick up silver at a low price, hold it over a long period of time, use it as a hedge against inflation or a savings account, are these a good buy? Now, I would start off by saying that it depends on where you live, of course. So I always recommend when you're stacking silver that you go to your local coin shop and you talk to them about what they like to buy, because likely when you sell your silver, it's going to be to your local coin shop. Now, some people don't have a local coin shop, and so they would have to sell to an online bullion dealer or perhaps even do private party sales. So that might not matter to you as much, but if you do have a local coin shop and your goal is to sell to them eventually, then you should definitely ask them if they like Britannias, if they buy Britannias, how liquid they are in your area. Now, that being said, I will touch on, for me personally, what my local coin shops think of Britannias. So here in my area, and I mentioned I live in Oregon, I actually live in the Portland area, these are not as coveted by the coin shops around here. So the one that I go to, well, there's several, but the one I frequent now is called AJPM, and they actually will only buy Britannias back at spot. Now, sometimes they'll pay a little bit over spot, but they won't pay as much as, for instance, the Maples, certainly not the American Silver Eagles. So right now, that coin shop is buying back Canadian Silver Maple Leafs at 50 cents over spot. A little bit of demand for the Maples. As far as American Silver Eagles, they're paying me $2.50 over spot when they buy them from me. If I was to bring in a bunch of Britannias, right now they would pay me spot for my Britannias. So looking at them side by side with some other bullion coins, I feel like if these were the same price as the Maples, I would rather buy the Maples. Just for the simple fact that I would get more when I sell them. So that brings up another point. You should really do some research on what the buy-sell prices are for specific bullion, and figure out what you're going to get the most bang for your buck on when you sell. Obviously, American Silver Eagles, I'd get the most money for me personally to sell, but they do have a very heavy premium when you buy them right now. So if you factor it all in, these actually might not be too bad of a deal if you can pick them up fairly cheap. I'm still not trying to buy silver at over $20 an ounce right now, so if I found these for under $20 an ounce, I would absolutely jump on them, but seems like there really isn't any silver for sale, at least from the online bullion dealers, at that price. So unless we got some sort of crazy 4th of July sales or something like that, I personally would not be picking up Britannias. That being said, I do really like the design. I think they're stunning. I like that they do have a security feature. And so I'm definitely pro Britannia. But as far as stacking is concerned, I don't see myself going out and buying a whole bunch of these unless I just found an absolutely killer deal. Or if I found some from perhaps the late 90s, some of those can be worth quite a bit more. There is some numismatic demand for sure. I know the fractional ones have a lot of numismatic demand, the proof ones. So if you find any sort of weird Britannias other than just the 1 ounce bullion ones like they're making today, you actually might be able to sell those to a collector for quite a bit. So if someone perhaps sold those to a coin shop and they didn't really know what they had, maybe they're just a bullion dealer and they sold them to you at a good price, you might be able to flip those on eBay. I would recommend going on eBay and just looking for Britannias, look for the different sizes, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The prices can be absolutely outrageous. But of course, mostly in this video, I'm just talking about the 1 ounce bullion versions because this is going to be your bread and butter. This is what you're going to see the most offered for sale. So again, I would encourage you, as far as stacking or investing is concerned, definitely do your own research, figure out where you plan on selling, see how much they'll pay you for them, and then sort of look at other options as well. I know generic silver rounds are still a really good option right now, so that all could change in the future, but like I said, for me personally, unless I found just a really awesome deal, I probably wouldn't pick up a bunch of these. That was some information on the Britannias. If there's anything I missed or anything you'd like to add to the video, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to say a massive thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you all in the next one. Silver Dragons out.